Hello and welcome to a session that you'll be using for collecting and analyzing your data. This is how you can make a scatter plot that would be easy for you to identify commonalities and differences between species and maybe pick up some patterns. So we're going to talk about how to make a chart that looks similar to this. So I'm going to delete this first, and we're going to look at some of the data that was already collected here. You can see the species down the left-hand side and a bunch of different data points. By this point, when you're watching this video, you'll probably have a pretty good understanding of what's going on with these numbers and where they came from. So let's just start with maybe doing a scatter plot. We're going to identify two physical characteristics, morphological characteristics of two different species, or a couple different species, I should say, of Carex. So let's do Carex abrupta first, and we're going to do culm average and inflorescence average. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight the two things that we're comparing, so culm and inflorescence. We highlight that, and then what we're going to do is we're going to insert a scatter. We're just going to pick the simple scatter here because we want to pick up what the trends are. We don't want the computer to try to pick up trends for us. And there is our 2 points. Now, the thing is, this is showing us series 1. Well, we want to be able to identify the differences between a whole bunch of different species. So what we're going to do is, now that this is up right now, we're going to select data, and it pulls up this screen, and it says series 1 right here. And we're going to edit this. We're going to change the name, so here it says series name. We're going to change the name to be Carex abrupta. So all we do is click on Carex abrupta, and it will pull up that, and then we press OK, and there it is, Carex abrupta. Right, so if we press OK, now it says Carex abrupta. Now, we don't want just one species. We're going to compare a bunch of different species for these two morphological traits. So we're going to click on the graph again. We're going to hit Select Data, and we're going to add a series. So when we click Add Series, it's going to want to name for that series. So we're going to pick the next species, which is Carex alata, and then we're going to do the series X value, which is your first one. So we're going to do all of the culm averages for Carex alata. Comes down to here. And then we're going to do the Y series values, which we want to delete out what's already there. And we're going to do inflorescence for Carex alata. We press OK. And now we have the next series added. When we go to the scatter plot, you'll be able to see the difference between Carex abrupta and Carex alata that's put in there. If we continue this process, we should be able to do any species that we want. So maybe we want to come down and we're going to add another one. Let's do, we're just going to skip, right? Maybe you don't want to look at this group right here. Maybe you want to skip them. We want to do this group, so I'm going to name it here. And I'm going to add information. Just highlight again. And then we go to the series Y, and remember that you need to get rid of what's already there. Highlight in that next section. And press OK. It's added. And we should be able to see a nice scatter plot starting to develop. You need to, with your group, decide which features you want to compare on the scatter plot. How many of the different species you want to throw into that scatter plot. Obviously, the more the better. And then after you do that, there should be four different scatter plots that you make with your group. So decide as a group what they're going to be, and then each person in the group should be making a scatter plot during this practice. Obviously, the more scatter plots you make, more than 4, the better your ideas will come together to make this poster that you're working with Dr. Hip. So please do more, not less, because it's going to become a huge headache if you don't have enough data. And then as a group, and with suggestions from Dr. Hip and some ideas from him, you can come to a conclusion and figure out which scatter plots you want to throw away and which ones you think give you the best trends to maybe make phylogenetic trees based on morphology. Now remember, none of this data has really been collected, so we're not quite sure how it's going to turn out. So it's up to you to make those decisions, make those hypotheses, support the ideas that you come up with, and then we'll connect this on to the next pieces, which is some very genetic information, and finally rounding out all this with your poster presentation. Thanks for listening. If you have any questions, email me. Otherwise, good luck.